This girl is a woman now. She's learned how to lead.
This girl is a woman now. She's found out what it's all about, and she's learning to live.
Hello, people. I am Mauricio. One more time. Here we are to talk about something very interesting. The Union Gap and Gary Pocket have introduced the present perfect, which is the thing we are going to cover today. I hope you enjoy this video. Let's start. So, the present perfect. The present perfect is something very interesting because we'll find that the composition of it is a little bit different from what we have seen so far during the previous videos. So, as always, let's start by analyzing the uses we give to the present perfect. So, the present perfect, the first use is to talk about an indefinite time in the past. This is something very interesting because this is the difference that we have between the present perfect and the simple past. Whereas in the simple past, we see or we define the moment in which something happened. For example, I ate fish yesterday. In the present perfect, we don't know when something happened exactly. I mean, that is not important in the sentence. For example, I have worked at First Class Institute. I'll not say I have worked at First Class Institute 2 years ago or some months ago. No, we don't care about when that something happened. Especially in this case, we don't care. Present perfect turns out to be even more interesting when we see this next use. We also use this tense to talk about something that happened in the past that has a connection with the present. In other words, something happened in the past and there are consequences in the present. For example, imagine that I am out of my bedroom and I can't walk in. So I would say something like, oh damn it, I have lost my keys and now I am not able to open the door. So the fact that you lost your keys is something that happened in the past, but this has consequences in the present. You can't open the door now. That is why we use the present perfect. One more time, I have lost my keys. Finally, we use this tense to talk about experiences that we have had in the past. But the difference with the simple past is that, just like the first point we approached on this video, is that we are not focusing on the time exactly. We don't care about when something happened. We only care about the experience itself. For example, I have traveled to Oruro 3 times. The only thing that we care about here is that we traveled to Oruro, not anything else. We are not saying when I traveled to Oruro. I am just focusing on the fact that I traveled to Oruro. I have traveled there 3 times. That's the only thing we care about. Of course, let's see some grammar aspects because that is important when it comes to the present perfect. As always, we'll form this tense by starting with the subject, the auxiliary verb have or has depending on the subject we are using, and the most important aspect of this tense, the verb, which will be in the past participle form. Here we are going to divide the verbs in two sections, the regular verbs and the irregular verbs. The regular verbs is something not very difficult because in general we only need to add an ed as a termination of the verb involved. For example, I have worked at First Class Institute. Whereas the irregular verbs are something a little bit more different. This tense turns out to be a little bit more difficult when it comes to the irregular verbs, because here we'll have some things that we will not expect unless we have memorized them. For example, she has been to Oruro many times. She has seen that movie like 3 times already. And that will be all about the present perfect. Keep studying this tense because it's very interesting, and when it comes to talking about our daily life, it turns out to be something very important and very useful as well. So, as always, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye bye.